As we get ready to start the 2021 school year, I know you're anxious to find out what are our plans in Roanoke City Schools. Later today, we're going to release the Roanoke City Schools reopening plan for 2020-21. And before that plan is released, I'd like to point out a few points of emphasis that I'd like to make about the plan and ask you to particularly look at these items as you go through this 6-page document. The first one being that the decision that you're going to need to make as a parent is which style of instruction or which pathway of instruction do you choose for your child this year. You'll have two options. Option number one is the on-site instruction plan, which is a traditional plan that will be similar to what we've done in previous years. The second one is the virtual school option. If you're interested in that, if you think that's something that you would like to look at in more depth, I strongly encourage you to look at the Roanoke City Schools Virtual Student Handbook and learn more about that program for your child. Please note that August 3rd is a very important date. By August the 3rd, you will need to make a declaration of which pathway that you want for your child. If you choose the virtual option, your child will be in that option if they're at Handley High School, for example, for the first trimester, or if they're at Handley Middle School for the first 12 weeks, or if they're a student at Knight-Enloe, they will be there for the first 9 weeks. And we will not be able to switch back the virtual option to the on-site after August the 3rd. And the reason for that is we've got to make plans at those schools for the students that are going to be on site, and so that's very important. So August 3rd is a critical day, and as you go about making that decision. A second item that's going to create a lot of buzz throughout Roanoke, and I know a very sensitive subject for a lot of us, is the issue of face masks. We have made the decision after looking at best practices, and for example, last week I received a report from 103 physician parents in the greater Birmingham area. These are physicians that have kids in school, and their number one recommendation is that students wear face masks. So if your child is going to be attending on-site instruction in Roanoke City schools, they will be required to wear a face mask, as will all school personnel. Please understand that a mask will be provided for your child, so there will be no expense for you to go buy a face mask. Now, if you would like to buy a face mask, then please do so. But understand, the only masks that will be permissible in school, they must be solid, clear, or have a Handley logo. No other mask will be permitted. Solid, clear, or have a Handley logo. Another big change this year that we regret to make is that we're going to have to limit the number of visitors and that we have in our school building. We're not going to allow any visitors or parents in the academic building or in the classrooms. And we're doing that to protect our students and our staff. We ask if you have need, and you will have need during the year, to contact your child's teacher or an administrator. If at all possible, do that by phone and have a phone conference. If it is essential that you meet with a teacher or a school personnel, then you will be limited to the school office area, and you will be required to wear a mask. If you don't have one, we will provide one for you. Another point that I'd like to make this year is about our teachers. Our teachers have an enormous strain on them as they prepare for this year, as they go about trying to provide the best possible instruction they can for your child. Our teachers will only be available during school hours, typically 8 to 3 or somewhere close to that. We cannot ask our teachers to teach all day during the school day and then be available at night for virtual students. We will make time during the school day for our teachers to have contact with our virtual students in office hours for you to ask them questions. For example, if you want to send them an email at night, please do so, but understand they will not answer it till the next day. And we're going to do everything we can to protect our teachers during this difficult time that they're going through as well, and I know you understand that, and I appreciate your understanding. Now, These are just some of the high points. Please take some time to look at that 6-page document that can be found on the Roanoke City Schools website. But in addition to the Roanoke City School reopening plan, you'll also be able to find another tab which will have the virtual instruction student handbook that I referenced earlier. Also, there'll be a list of frequently asked questions. We've tried to foresee some of the thoughts or concerns that you may have and answer those questions. Of course, those are not all the questions you will have, so please contact your building principal, our assistant principal, or call Dr. Kim Hendon or myself here at the central office, and we'll be glad to discuss any concerns or questions that you might have. Also, on the Roanoke City School website will be a supplemental page for each school that contains specific information that just pertains to that school. For example, the drop-off procedures at Knight-Enloe will be different this year than what they have been in years past. So if you've got a child at Knight-Enloe, you need to make some time looking at that, as there will be changes at the middle school and high school as well. Please do remember that we announced earlier this summer that you do not need to purchase any school supplies for your child this year. Those will be provided by Roanoke City Schools, so you do not need to buy any school supplies. I've got on here an example of what we're going to give to your child this year, and all the staff. We're going to wear lanyards with our mask attached to it, because there's going to be a lot of concern of how's a first grader going to keep up with their mask. We're going to attach those to these lanyards, and they'll fit on like so, as you need to meet. And if they do come off, then they won't hit the floor or anything. They'll be there. That's one thing that we're going to try. Just please understand that we're doing our very best, and there's not very many things I can assure you about this school year, because it seems like each day something changes. But one thing I will assure you, that your child will be loved in Roanoke City Schools, and that we will continue to put safety first, and we will do our very best to keep everyone healthy. And we're going to make sure that your child learns and they're ready to proceed, because that's what we're here about. And we're going to provide a quality education in a safe environment. I want to thank you in advance for your support of Roanoke City Schools during these challenging times, and for your support in the year ahead. And also understand that all this is subject to change. It seems like to do about everything that we do these days. And if there are changes, I will come back and address those as soon as possible. Please look at our plan and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.